Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Martha Alter Hines, and I'm here with my very dear soul sister friend, Julia Balaz, who probably most of you know, but if you don't know Julia, she is I would say, world-renowned galactic astrologer and just a beautiful being. We've collaborated a lot. We tend to collaborate a lot in various ways. And your spirit is so beautiful. Your heart is so generous and giving, and just one of my favorite people. So, yay.
Thank you so much, Martha. I'm equally grateful for you in my life. We're actually recording this on the 27th of November. So, just immense gratitude for you in my life, for everything you represent, for our expanding community. Your heart is incredibly generous, and may the many blessings keep returning to you a thousandfold, as I know it's just going to keep going and going as you dedicate your time serving the community worldwide. Thank you for
Mhm.
being such an inspiration.
Aw, same. Yeah.
Thank
Um,
you.
and what we're going to be talking about today is a topic that you introduced me to. And that I have been so looking forward to finally being able to actually bring out into our communities, our wider community, bring awareness to, because when you told me about this, what we're about to talk about, it literally changed my life in an instant. So I'm not kidding. Um, and yeah, so what we're going to be talking about is the asteroid Hyperborea, which I had never heard of until you brought it to my attention again a few weeks ago. Um, and I think I'm okay. You're okay with me mentioning where it is in both of our charts? Yeah.
Yes, yes, of course.
Yeah. So it turns out that Julia and I both have this asteroid precisely conjunct our suns. We both have it conjunct our suns. So I feel like actually part of our connection is the Hyperborean. It's like this,
Mm,
yeah, like
frequency. Yeah.
feeling like light with light going bing. It's like, ah, it's so good. Like heart to heart magic or something is how I feel it. Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna be talking about Hyperborea in general and this is such a beautiful, I would say, energy to be coming back into our awareness. And the many layers and threads of the wisdom of it and the medicine I feel in it, and I'll share, in a little while maybe how it changed my life, but more importantly, Julia's the one who's really been researching it and discovering things. And so, yes, so we're going to really be hearing Julia's amazing wisdom about this. So, yay. It's so good. So, do you want to start us out with how did this come into your awareness? Not even, you haven't even told me why did you even start looking into it and tell us
Sure.
all the things? Yeah.
Yeah. I read Keone Hanalei's latest book,
Mhm.
where at the very beginning he mentioned Hyperborea being written about by Helena Blavatsky in her book 100 years ago. And the moment I saw the word, I recalled it from maybe 2, 3 decades ago when I read about it in Greek mythology. And I was just curious if there is an asteroid, Hyperborea. When I checked, there is. The number that it designated is 1309. So I invite the viewers to go to astro.com, the free astrology software, go to extended selection and check if the asteroid Hyperborea is prominent in their natal chart in conjunction to any natal planets or even in aspect, because it all reveals um, a puzzle piece about your soul's blueprint, about your soul's makeup. And coincidentally, when I discovered about this asteroid on that during that time, Neptune returned to 0 degrees of Aries, which is my natal Hyperborea with my natal sun all conjunct. So
Oh,
goosebumps moments, downloads, and within 3 days, when I started exploring Hyperborea, looking for more information just about the mythology. There are actually beautiful YouTube videos in terms of visuals talking about what the mythology talks about, which is the ancient land far north, long time before the ice sheets covered the magic that is beneath beautiful, luscious land. The beings that live there live hundreds of years. Many refer to them as gods, the immortals. And in some mythology cultures, they also connect Hyperborea with the North Star, and not only currently Polaris, but actually the North Stars of the ages before throughout the entire 26,000-year-old cycle. So I believe symbolically, Hyperborea carries the wisdom and a true north that has been guiding humanity throughout the entire evolutionary cycle. So, few nights in, as I started just contemplating this day and night, I was actually woken up around 3 a.m. into semi-trance like state. I woke up, but my eyes remained fixed on my third eye. I've actually never experienced that in a semi-wake state. And I felt the consciousness that descended to, well, I heard it introduce itself as I am presence. And that was just repeated, I am presence, I am presence. And it felt very familiar. So I knew I can ask any questions. And the only question I had was, how is Hyperborea relevant for us now? And how it connects with Lemuria, Atlantis, ancient Egypt, because that is what I've been focusing on for the last 6 months and more. And this beautiful story of Earth's evolutionary journey was revealed to me. So I'll do my best to convey it as as well as I can, so that audience can relate to it. So the story started with my attention being brought to Earth's conception moment of her soul coming into the sphere with the intention for her to hold space not only for physical evolution, but also for spiritual evolution. And with that, she was assisted with these immortal beings that feel very plasmic. Their consciousness is fluent, connected to all that is, and that divine intelligence knew exactly how to form Earth's atmosphere so that she can hold space for spiritual evolution of source, fragmenting into the illusion of its separation so that it can experience contrast in densest possible realities. The original blueprints have been put in place at that time, and I feel symbolically Hyperborea asteroids holds these uncorrupted codes and blueprints for humanity to now remember what was the original intent for human bodies, for the spirit of creator to experience densest form possible and hold that beautiful paradox of being an individual self, yet aware of its connection to all that is. So with the after the Hyperborean era, which I feel the codes of that are still there under the ice sheets. And it's amazing that only this year, as our technology is advancing, we are able to see beneath the ice sheets, and beautiful, luscious lands have been discovered, and lakes, and there's just so much there. And I'm sure it's not coincidental that it's coming to our awareness now. So yeah, go ahead.
This is really fascinating. I need to say something. Sorry.
Seriously.
This morning, I just recorded, I didn't even tell you this when we were about to record. This morning, I recorded another video with a woman in Scotland named Cara Silversmith. So this video is already on my YouTube channel as of this morning. Um, Highly recommend this conversation to everybody. Okay, so guess what we were talking about?
The
So
discovery
the
and then
weirdest timing of this. Wow. So Cara is a Scottish storyteller and an environmental educator, and she has the
beautiful.
most deep and beautiful relationship with the land of Scotland and the heritage of Scotland and just kind of Earth in general. But literally, she told us the story of the Cailleach. And then so the Kaliak meaning like the original spirit of the land of Scotland that
Oh,
created the land. I'm getting chills. Oh my goodness. Okay. And then she took us back to the time before the last ice age and told us that she said there are these remnants of Scottish stories from 13,000 years ago. I'm seriously getting chills everywhere. So she was started telling us this piece of this story from before the last ice age. Or no, sorry, no, I got that wrong. I think it was actually what she was saying is that in if you trace the stories of Scotland, basically they tell of a time before the last ice age that was a golden age, but then the ice came and basically yeah, froze everything, and then there was a time when it all melted. And so then she was basically telling a story from some version of all of that when it then melted. And in a sense, you could say the wisdom of all of it woke back up. So, like,
mm,
okay. Anyway, now I'm here hearing you talk about this. Okay, this is probably not a coincidence. These are both back to back today.
sure.
Wow.
Amazing.
Keep
I love
going,
it.
please. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I can't wait to watch that.
Mm.
Yes, so from Hyperborea, I wanted to know how it relates then to Lemuria and Atlantis and ancient Egypt all the way to today. So it was just shown to me how the evolutionary journey of souls fragmenting into individual selves, um, descending as further down in creation as it can in terms of density. So first we had the beautiful age of Lemuria, where the frequency still felt very plasmic and fluid, or telepathic, in harmony with creation. But the intent was to go as far as possible into denser and denser reality, into deeper and deeper separation. So Atlantean era came in where we became symbolically more crystalline, structure-like individual um, with certain purpose and intent and possibility or opportunity to make choices that pushed us further into separation. And unfortunately, that experiment ended in a destruction of that whole civilization for certain reasons, because the harmony with nature, with universal laws, was not honored, right? Following the destruction of Atlantis, the era of 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 ancient temples with hyperfixation on remembering or reminding the human beings the original intent and the importance of maintaining the harmony as individuals. So we were taught the the spiritual arts of body, mind, soul connection, um, and that secret it had to become secret teachings remained alive through what I now called Codekeepers. I believe throughout the entire ages, there were always incarnates that carried the codes of sacred divine design, the original intent for human avatars. And I believe through natal astrology, it is ensured that we remember at certain times our purpose as code keepers and remember to embody what is sacred, what is natural, what is organic, and inspire others to do that. But not only that, to keep that premise alive on Earth as um, as we are one with her. I was reflecting on that a couple of days ago that if mycelium acts as Earth's neural network, what is our purpose for her as a living being? And realized that we are her eyes and ears and her hearts. We act as a reflective neural network for her that enables her to connect consciously with the cosmos. And now, especially as we are as everything in astrology is pointing to one message. Through every angle you look at astrology, we see that we are indeed living in times of great remembering. And I feel we are now shifting into increasing awareness and importance of dropping our individual identity as something that is our um, main cosmic mission. Like, I'm here for my own journey of evolution, yes, but I feel we are here for Earth's evolution. So as we remember what she went through, human experiences in ancient Atlantis, Egypt, and all the atrocities that were occurring throughout the last several thousands of years, we are guided to remember and bring higher awareness and peace and deep healing to the entire Akashic field of her records so that she can go forward enlightened, freed from that burden of immense emotional trauma that we all experience in that seeming separation from source. Um, yeah, I'll pause there.
So, something else dawning on me? This is amazing. Okay, so when this all came to you, you just mentioned that Neptune was conjunct your own Hyperborea and your sun. Guess what? Right now, the North Node at 14 degrees of Pisces is precisely conjunct my sun and my Hyperborea.
Wow,
Yeah, I
goosebumps.
just realized that. And this is what I find really extra fascinating. Um,
Amazing.
Next Friday, next Friday, you and I and everybody should sign up for this because it's free. If you haven't signed up, sign up, sign up. We're holding a free event. David Clements, John Ryan, Kelly Clodney, you, and me, the five of us are holding a free event where it's going to be the morning, the day after uh, the full moon, which will be at 13 degrees of Gemini with the sun on the great attractor, right? And the nodes of the moon precisely at 13 degrees of Pisces and Virgo, which is just in and of itself is just for all of us an incredibly powerful full moon. Okay. But interestingly, the North Node will still be right on my sun and my Hyperborea. And what I'm feeling in that event is literally that I think the big reason we're being called together to do that, the five of us, but also just the collective, everybody, I wonder if part of what's going on is actually exactly what you're describing, is that it feels like there's meant to be a reactivation of maybe essentially these codes, these original codes that I think that's yeah. Anyway, any thoughts that you have on that? But I think I'm feeling that.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Well, coincidentally, Hyperborea in from mid-December is conjunct Shapley Attractor, which kind of amplifies the importance of returning to the truth, to the core essence of what our role on Earth really is as humans. Um, and I feel it is about allowing the Great Spirit to be embodied in the densest possible form as individual avatar, but now after its journey of seeming separation and contrast, uh, ready to return to playing in complete harmony with the rest of the cosmos and co-creating the next era of prophesized 1,000-year peace on Earth, perhaps, that we are
Wow.
here to usher in.
Wow. Yeah.
And not only is Hyperborea conjunct Shapley now from mid-December, but also Haumea is there. And if we go with Alan Clay's beautiful research, he sees, or yeah, he sees Haumea as higher octave of Neptune, representing unity consciousness. So once again, the similar message: we are called to return to unity consciousness, to remember that we are connected with all that is. And when that comes great peace and healing and compassion and resolutions and playful co-creation. And Atlantis at this time is conjunct the galactic center. And Hawaii then will follow in early Scorpio conjunct Shapley from mid-January. So I feel like these um, eras of these greatest um, intersections in human consciousness are playing their role. Like we're meant to remember the entire cycle because we are reaching that alpha omega point, and with Saturn Neptune on Aries, that always is such a potent messenger for the alpha omega point and a higher octave in our collective evolution.
And say again, how long will Hyperborea be conjunct the Shapley Attractor?
From mid-December, so when we get to 19th of December, it will be conjunct the Shapley Attractor. Yeah.
Until how long?
Um, It moves fairly fast. So, but Shapley's orb of influence is 10, even 12 degrees. So till the end of December, they'll still be, but less, lesser and lesser intensity as it moves.
Well, and this is something, this is kind of a little in the future-ish, but as you're bringing in Haumea, um, what I'm also just thinking about is that on February 2nd, we haven't even announced this or anything yet, but you and Keone and I are going to be holding another free event to be with Haumea. So
Ah,
on February 2nd, so that will be, you're saying when Hawaii, the asteroid Hawaii, will be conjunct the Shapley Attractor and Haumea. Is that accurate?
well, Haumea is already conjunct Shapley
Mm.
throughout the second half of 2025. It's moving fairly slow, so it'll still be within its orb of influence for sure by the 2nd of February. Yeah,
But
still.
but but Hawaii, the asteroid, will also be there at that point?
No, it'll move past Scorpio by then. Um, it will possibly be an aspect. We'll check.
Okay. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah. Wow. Okay. There's some divine choreography going on that I can feel, but I can't quite name. But beautiful, amazing.
What I want to point out, as you shared your current alignment, and here we are talking about it, what I've noticed in my research over the last several months as I went through over 100 stories of people who had spontaneous recalls of ancient times, whether Atlantis or Lemuria or ancient Egypt. I looked at their birth charts in connection to these asteroids. And whenever they had the recall, there was always connection through direct, well, usually conjunction, but also aspects uh, added to the story. So whenever there was a spontaneous recall and healing took place with all these recalls, which I feel is the grace of current times, whenever we are called to remember something that is keeping the Akashic field, the earth memory, heavy. Every time we remember, there's always immediate assistance to heal it. It's quite amazing, whether it's through light language or Reiki healing or whatever. The person that remembers, they have immediate assistance to shift their connection to these ancient times. So yeah, there was always connection to natal asteroid, connecting to the ancient era, and transiting asteroid in connection to natal planets as well, always.
Yeah. Well, and then in this conversation I had this morning with Cara with the Scottish stories, I literally felt myself as she was giving this kayak story, but then also when she was doing the more ancient one, um, I felt myself being taken down, 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 down through the layers of time, literally down into the earth, but also through layers of time to this point of ancientness. I don't even know how to describe it, and I just went bing. It was like this, yeah,
Amazing.
bing point. And then from that point of like being anchored down in the center of Earth, actually it's not all the way to the, anyway, it's down very deep, but not all the way to the center. Then I was catapulted backward, literally backward through time, and I felt myself come up and out into this ancient time in Scotland. And I felt literally, I felt my brain. It was like very weird, but I almost felt like my cranium, like my cranial bones went tick, 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 tick. And it felt like earth medicine happening to my body. And I started feeling like I could see that time. I could see the time, of the ice age or before the ice age. And I had this feeling, and I talked about it in the video, that I was like, wow, no, we have this sense that we've lost these traditions or we've lost this history, but it's us. It's literally is us. It's right here, right? And so I had the most profound experience, and it turns out, yeah, the North Node happens to be conjunct my Hyperborea while this is happening, and this is a very northern ancient time in the north, like hmm.
Yeah, we definitely are the living hope of our ancestors, and we are them and they are us. There were so many regression sessions that I facilitated when I used to do that, where the person regressed to what first appeared to be their ancestral story, and then as they connected to their higher self, it revealed that actually they were their own ancestor.
Wow,
And that's been the case for so many.
amazing.
Mm.
So, is there more you want to share about? If there's other things already there, go for it. But I have a couple of questions I could ask you if there's.
Yeah, go ahead with the questions. Yeah. I feel I completed that whole cycle. Just the main message from the revelation at the night when I had the conjunction and recall was about remembering Earth's entire evolutionary cycle, her intention or her graceful selection for holding space for spiritual evolution of the one, fragmenting into individual human beings, and that it's time for us to remember that and become both symbolically plasmic and crystalline, being very fluid and connected to all that is, returning to our telepathic abilities, our extrasensory perception, really skyrocketing more and more. And at the same time, holding crystalline structure of our individual self, playing very unique puzzle piece in the grand harmonics of the cosmos. Um, because in Lemuria, it was not both at the same time. It was still very collective, like mind, collective consciousness of the individuals that lived there. In Atlantis, it was very little plasmic. It was much more crystalline. And now I feel we are meant to become both symbolically. Yeah, living paradox of individual yet one with all.
And okay, so you might have already said this and I missed it, but just maybe say if you could say it again. So and then okay, so the Lemurian energy is more of the plasmic, the Atlantean is more of the crystalline. And then how would you characterize Hyperborean?
Plasmic, the
Plasmic.
uncorrupted plasmic. Yeah,
And would you say the Hyperborean is like even before Lemuria? Or
I believe so.
that's
But
what
very, it's like the first with Hyperborea, it feels like the immortal ones were here to prepare the grids to work with the earth, like the guardians of earth as a living being. And the Lemurians then were the first ones guided by these immortals in their ways, like the first children of creators on living creators on Earth. And
wow.
then it just continued into further and further descent.
Hmm.
Does that resonate?
Yes. I mean, yes, and I'm processing. It's like so many layers. It's that my being is trying to process. Like I would need to hear what you just said 3 or 4 or 5 times to process all of it. It's so so many things are igniting in me as you're talking. So it's hard for me
Yeah.
to be conscious of all of it. Um, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so okay. So for you, when you're looking at these asteroids, and I know you're going to be putting together a course on a lot of these asteroids, is that right? Coming up?
Yes, I will. Well, I did a first presentation for National Geocosmic Research in September, and it's available on my Patreon, where I shared several case studies, including our wonderful Keone Hanalei, whose chart is just superb,
Mm.
in terms of how it reflects the what we are talking about. Um, and I'm realizing there's just so much information there. I feel I really love the course structure where I can have modules and lessons, and then there are comments, and the community grows. It like the material evolves in the course model where you have comments and interactions within the community. So I'll have that. but or I'll be building that throughout 2026. And I would love to share the case studies freely in a maybe short video content because the stories are just so amazing. And I see that whenever I share the case study, I would always get multiple emails of people deeply resonating and seeing the reflection in their own story. So it's very, very activating and healing for the collective. So I'm really excited about finding time to do all that. So next year,
Beautiful.
that's my whole focus. Mm.
Yeah, and so I'll come back to that in 1 second. Just so people, also, I want to flag this for 1 second. I'm sure we'll talk about
Yeah.
it at the end, but you also did just, you did just put out a new course, which is very exciting, and I think has been a long time coming, and lots of people have been waiting for something like this from you, on the galactic points, right?
Yes, and only now, actually, as you're speaking, I'm realizing why I finally finished that course because it's been sitting unfinished for almost 2 years. In the meantime, I had it as individual lessons on Galactic Center, Super Galactic Center, Great Attractor, and Shapley in my Galactic Astrology courses. But now, at this time, as I got activated by Hyperborea, suddenly, in a matter of days, I sat down and wrote a lesson on dipole repeller, which I feel is deeply connected to this similar frequency. So I'll talk about that now. So anyway, within a matter of a week, I then just finished the entire course, wrote delineation of meaning by planet, by house, by aspects, and also all the points like lunar nodes, ascendant, midheaven, part of fortune, Chiron, everything that you usually see in a free astrology software. So that's all available on my website. But so dipole repeller, I feel plays such an important role right now. And I'll explain what it is for people who are not familiar, because at the early degrees of Taurus, where dipole symbolically sits in astrologically, is at midpoint between Saturn Neptune conjunction currently and Uranus in early Gemini. So it's semi-sextiling these two, and Pluto is in square aspect to dipole. And I actually looked at powerful years in the last few decades where many people report sudden awakenings and like soul remembrance of who they really are. For example, the harmonic convergence. I wrote these down. So on 23rd of August, 1987, Jupiter was at high degrees of Aries, 2942 of Aries, which is the other end of dipole. There are nuances between when these super points are sitting on between two signs. Based on where you have your planet, it manifests in a very nuanced but beautiful way. So anyway, harmonic convergence, I feel, was influenced by dipole repeller. We have 2000s, year 2000 felt like such activation for so many. We had Jupiter at 020 of Taurus, conjunct dipole. 2012, we didn't really have a planet there, but Neptune at 0 Pisces was sextile dipole repeller. And currently we have this powerful connection. So for a long time, I was avoiding looking. I think you were looking at dipole way before me, and I was like always avoiding it, thinking of it as a void. There's nothing there for me, even though I have Venus conjunct dipole in my 12th house. But now during this Hyperborea connection, I had this ding dong moment. It's not a void. There's so much there. If you just drop into this absolute peace where you lose yourself in the void, amazing, miraculous solutions and creativity and answers come through. Is such a potent. It feels like the creative womb of of the whole cosmos. Astronomically, it's a space that is still considered to be such anomaly because it has least amount of matter, least amount of, there's no galaxies, no stars, if any, very little, in contrast to Shapley on the opposing end at early degrees of Scorpio, which has most highest amount of galactic matter. So it is believed that dipole, in a way, is repelling matter towards on its journey from its center, from its womb, from the womb, it goes on a journey into cosmos. So if we connect to that point of early Taurus astrologically in our natal chart, reflect how that point for you holds the highest potential for divine sparks of inspiration and creation, especially if it comes through high Aries. It feels like that spark moment where something then comes to manifestation through you, or through early Taurus, it feels like this nurturing experience of something amazing that then builds over time. Would you like to comment on that?
Yeah, I'm just looking up the hang on one second. Sorry. I'm looking up November 1st, 1977. Do you know why I'm looking up that date?
No.
That's the quote unquote discovery date of Chiron.
Ah,
It was at 3 degrees of Taurus.
amazing. Wow, that's a great insight. That was totally intuitively guided.
Yeah, well, and because I was thinking about that because next year, July, end of July,
Yes, I looked at that.
Chiron, yeah, Chiron is going to be entering Taurus, but it's going to go right to 0 degrees Taurus and then go back into Aries, but it's heading into
It
its
is
own
significant.
Chiron return, which will be conjunct the dipole repeller. It's like,
Amazing.
wow,
Yeah.
what is that, right? Huh.
Yeah. These are these powerful cosmic intersections, and it really is microcosm reflected in macrocosm infinitely. So just like on Earth, we have these amazing energetical lines, and where they intersect, where many of them intersect, it is physically felt, biologically measured, scientifically measured points of increased energy, and even sound frequency is becoming loud. You can almost hear the sound of the earth at these powerful intersections. So imagine when that happens on a cosmic scale. So the only reason why I focused on these 5 points now is because they are gravitationally influencing our entire galaxy. Is is Shapley's magnetic force is moving our entire galaxy by 600 kilometers per second. It's insane speed. So then symbolically, if we reflect on the evolution of self through these intersections, just like it happens on a micro scale, there's really something to it. And I truly see it through endless testimonials of people that have these points potent in their natal chart, how they are naturally wired to perceive cosmically, multidimensionally, galactically, how they receive these downloads from thin air. And I really feel it's important for us not to underestimate these divine inspirations, because they um, support the evolution of our collective consciousness and the evolution of Earth herself.
Hmm. So, okay, so I just want to back up and just break this down for people a little bit in case this is confusing, to state this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what, Juliet, what you're saying is that currently the asteroid Hyperborea, which is an asteroid in the asteroid belt between Jupiter and Mars, right, moves relatively quickly because it's an asteroid in the asteroid belt. That is, at this moment, as we're recording this in the end of November 2025, is conjunct the Shapley Attractor, which is at approximately 2-ish degrees of Scorpio, early degrees of Scorpio, and Haumea, which is a being of the Kuiper belt, which is way out on the outer edge of our solar system in the kind of the general area of like Pluto. Um, so a very different type of being to Hyperborea. They
Lower
are
moon.
sorry, much slower moving. Yeah, they are currently conjunct with the Shapley Attractor, and the Shapley Attractor, go and learn from Julia, like in much more detail, but the Shapley Attractor in general is this point in space where many galaxies and more are being pulled or pushed or whatever it is. There's some kind of gravitational force, that's
Anomaly. Mhm.
anomaly, where yeah, things are moving into that space, right? And so that's the Shapley Attractor. But what you were referring to is that when I first was learning about these galactic points from you, actually, what, 2 years ago or something, I I was thinking, okay, here's the Shapley Attractor over here at the early degrees of Scorpio, and then opposite that is thought to be this space that astronomers call the Dipole Repeller. And you and Philip Sedgwick both paid a lot of attention to the Shapley Attractor, but I was saying, like, wait a minute, what about the Dipole
You
Repeller?
are right the whole time. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't, really dive into it, but I just sort of was sitting there going, wait, 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 this must be really important too. And would it be, I guess then, approximately 2 degrees of Taurus? And so I asked you, and then I wrote to Philip, both of you, and you both had the same answer, which is like, oh, I hadn't really thought about that yet. Um, so I put it on hold in myself, but now I'm so excited. Yay! You're really giving it attention. And right, and so astronomically, what I was you've done way more research on this than me, and it's been a couple of years since I did it. But what I was understanding from the astronomers is that it's not really clear actually whether there's a force pushing things toward the Shapley attractor or whether there's a an energetic force pulling. Like, is it a push or is it a pull or both? And so,
Yeah.
but either way, effectively, what happens is that in that area of the cosmos that's called the dipole repeller, there's this literal void, like this, at least from what we can detect with our eyes and with our instruments, right? There is a an open space kind of, right, in that part of the cosmos. And it's in contrast to a density of and an attractive kind of force over with the Shapley attractor. Am I getting that
Yes.
basically? Yeah.
Yes.
It was just fascinating to think, if we just even feel it with our bodies, what does this Shapley attractor feel like compared to this dipole repeller? And we're going to be having, and then to bring in the fact that Hyperborea and Haumea are over there with the Shapley attractor right now, and we have Chiron in the very, very end degrees of Aries right now, about to enter Taurus next year, but heading toward its own Chiron return. And when Chiron was discovered, it was conjunct the dipole repeller, and it's about to be conjunct the dipole repeller again, right? So, I mean, it's so complex, but it's like, wow, what is all of
Let
this?
me let me comment. I have so much energy in my body. Thank you. That's beautiful. The the first before I go there, I want to mention Philip Sedgwick's strong stance about not daring to calculate precise astrological degree for dipole repeller because it doesn't have, we didn't yet discover a center point that we could call the point. It really still
Right.
is space. And as you spoke, I realized the beauty in that. If, I love using astrology as a reflective symbol for the journey of the one. And if Aries represents symbolically the journey of the one, the individuation of consciousness, the fractal self realizing he is one, separate, has its own identity. Uh, the high degrees of Aries is considered to be the evolved Aries, where he realizes that he is on a journey and he is now capable to create something that is very unique as, through his being. So around that high degrees of Aries, the one starts realizing his potential. And in that realization, he then journeys into early Taurus, where he starts creating. So
Mhm.
that is that space, liminal space of self-realization and as a creator being. And from
Mhm.
that space comes everything that is created in the cosmos. And when you tap into dipole, there is such love sense. I feel it feels like the spirit of the great mother, the creatrix of all that is. Does that resonate?
Wow, that's amazing. And I'm also just, this adds in yet another layer of complexity. I don't know if we want to go here, but also I'm feeling, um, how the end degrees of Aries also is approximately where the Andromeda galaxy is.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, hmm.
Beautiful, yeah. And that frequency is feminine. It even spins um, in the opposing way to Milky Way galaxy. Milky Way spins in a symbolically masculine way, electric way, counterclockwise, and Andromeda galaxy spins clockwise, which symbolically is feminine way.
I did
And
not.
they're coming together. So it's yet again another layer of macrocosm reflected in microcosm, the dance of polarity.
Okay, okay, okay. So I did not realize that about the spins, but I had a conversation with one of your community members, Margot Zen, about the Andromeda Galaxy, and amazing conversation. I highly recommend people go and listen to that. But I love Margot. So uh yeah, and so what I was sharing in there is that instinctively, just in my body, what I feel when I see the Andromeda Galaxy and the Milky Way galaxy merging, which they are for people who are, I mean, that's what they're starting to merge.
4 billion years estimated when they become one.
Milkomeda.
I love that.
That's what people are calling it. Yeah, what I just in my body felt was the divine feminine Andromeda coming back together with the divine masculine. Like literally that's I had an experience a couple years ago when I first learned that they are coming together. I just broke down sobbing because I could just feel like this powerful uh yeah, like literally like the time of great forgetting was coming to an end, that they were reconnecting with each other. And oh my goodness, so powerful. So that's amazing to know. I did not know that about the spin of them. But what was I thinking? Oh, because the other thing about that is that Chiron, when it just went retrograde conjunct the Andromeda galaxy, essentially, right? Kind of that's because that's the part of where, sorry, Andromeda's current, oh my goodness, Chiron is currently in the end degrees of Aries. So right there with the Andromeda galaxy, right? And so maybe that's part of the healing of that, one layer. It's an ongoing process, but maybe one layer of helping us to bring in healing of that divine feminine, divine masculine before we then it moves into being in that dipole repeller area, which is maybe more of a deeper, more beyond that kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, it feels with that fire Chiron story puzzle piece as if yet another validation of the one coming full circle after his hero's journey and all the wounding he experienced in his seeming separation. He's now realizing the purpose of it all, how it supported his evolution, how it helped him get to know the entire creation in all its um, contrast. Now he understands it experientially. So now, really, we are in that time of
Wow.
completion. Even the wounds are meant to fulfill their purpose and can be dissolved and integrated into wisdom.
Oh
They
my
know
goodness.
where to be held. Yeah.
Wow. And yeah, next year I'll be having my own Chiron return because I was born in 1977. So,
Wow, Martha, that's
right
so
for
powerful.
now. Yeah.
That's so powerful. So you're literally embodying this
Mm.
cycle.
Yeah, and it's with my South Node also. So yeah.
And this is how, like the way you were inspired to just think about it
Mm,
in that moment, checking on it. This is how we are each playing our unique role, and
mm,
we all uncover key puzzle pieces based on our natal
mm.
wiring through astrology. It's so
Wow.
beautiful.
I'm thinking about Melanie Reinhardt, right? Our mutual good, very amazing friend, and I would love to have her thoughts on this Chiron with the dipole
Yeah.
repeller. Like, wow. Maybe we can ask her sometime. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. Yeah.
She loved discovering Hyperborea in her natal chart, and she said she had so many realizations and aha moments. So I was
Yeah.
so glad.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to ask her. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
You did ask a little question
Mm,
that got overlooked about the difference between dipole and Shapley, how it manifests.
mm, mm,
So we just discussed dipole, and with Shapley planets in our life experience, it or the journey of the one going through the first, we are called to integrate the galactic center as our next immediate powerful cosmic intersection that affects us. So when we integrate galactic center at high degrees of Sagittarius, we realize ourselves as divine human that is on its own journey, able to tap to the infinite wisdom and love from within our own being. As we do that, we are then guided in life experience to express divine wisdom and love in harmony with everyone else, not as, oh, I am now mightiest, and that doesn't work. So we are guided to the supergalactic center, the next intersection, which is at early degrees of Libra or high degrees of Virgo, each nuanced, where we learn to embody divinity in harmony with all. The next intersection is then the Great Attractor at mid of Sagittarius, where we start interacting with other awakened creators, and we learn to accept and be very inclusive of everyone's unique perspectives in the whole of creation. And we start working as a collective to create on a much larger scale. Then as we do that, we become so at peace with everything that is. We suddenly really understand the beautiful universal laws, and we get to the point of starting to detach from any needs that we have, which Shapley at early degrees of Scorpio, it really brings us to the truth of creation, truth of our own selves, as we faced all the shadows through early degrees of Scorpio. We, in its shadow side, before we experience the highest expression of Shapley, people can be manipulative because they can really sense people's deepest motivations and their deepest truth, and they can misuse that. In earlier years, people that have Shapley strong in their charts, they can have this black hole experience of needing to merge with others. And I've talked about this in other videos, but with Shapley, it's really about truth, authenticity that is very magnetic. Where you have nothing to lose, you just are one with all and hold space like a mirror for others to remember themselves in your reflection that is pure and divine. And then you have dipole aspect of the journey where you just birth new realities into form. Does that all resonate?
Yeah, amazing. And I just have one more thing popping in here. I would love, is it okay if we just say one?
Yeah.
Um, so okay, this is coming to me. Okay. So currently Pluto is actually squaring, right? The Shapley Attractor and Haumea.
Dipole. Dipole.
Dipole.
And Shapley,
Both,
so
both.
both.
Sorry, both. I meant to say Shapley, but actually both. It's true, both.
Mhm.
So they're creating it's like a T square-ish kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because I'm thinking of a number of people I know who actually have Pluto conjunct natally. They have Pluto conjunct the Shapley attractor, at the 2-3 degree
Mhm.
of Scorpio, and they're all having their Pluto squares. They're
Yes,
all
I have
having.
MC on that early Aquarius. My midheaven is there. So the way I perceive it or translate it is the the urgency or importance, utmost importance to co-create for collective well-being. No longer what we did in Atlantis as service to self choices that led to this self-destruction. Pluto in early Aquarius is making sure, is like putting pressure on all the conditionings that we have as individuals to fall for the programming that was imposed on us for thousands of years. Pluto is like, no, no, that cannot happen anymore. You have to create in harmony and for the benefit of all. You must do that. You
Wow.
must get to the truth of what is necessary and important, that Shapley point, create as an individual being that is now enlightened, sovereign, awakened after everything you've been through. Now you understand the purpose of it all, and we are doing it collectively. There is a much bigger mission here. Pluto in Aquarius, not only for Earth's evolutionary journey, but also for the entire cosmic healing and upgrade to higher octave.
Yeah, I just want to show the chart just in case this is helpful for people, just because we've been talking a lot about a lot of things. So this is here is where Haumea is currently as of right this minute. Again, it's November 27th, 2025, but it moves very slowly. So it's kind of hanging out. It's been hanging out in this early part of Scorpio for what, a couple of years, right?
Beautiful.
So it'll be there for a while, and Pluto and Haumea are in this long time, long-term square of each other. So yeah, so it's just fascinating to me that as Pluto is entering Aquarius, it's also squaring the Shapley Attractor and then also actually the Dipole Repeller. But
Yeah.
right, so it's not just this energy of an isolated thing of Pluto entering Aquarius. Of course, it's a whole dynamic cosmic dance, and
Yeah.
that's part of the dance happening. It's like, wow. Hmm.
I actually think there is a blessing by the fact that there is no actual planet archetype sitting at dipole right now, because first we have to face the truth. We have to face what was hidden for way too long. So Haumea is guiding us gracefully to go through that experience. As we do that collectively, there's still so much denial. It will take a while. And as Chiron completes his journey, by the time Chiron gets to dipole, then it'll feel like, oh my God, so much healing, so much realization is happening in terms of of us coming to terms to how much wounding there occurred throughout the entire precessional cycle or in the last 12,000 years. And then we will start getting planets activating dipole, and amazing collective co-creation can take place. Does that
Oh,
resonate?
beautiful. Right. And just to point out that, right, here's Chiron right now going retrograde at 23
Mm,
degrees of Aries. And it's going to go direct and it'll go again past the Andromeda galaxy here at approximately
mm,
28-ish degrees of Aries. And then
mm.
mid 2026, Chiron will go to 0 degrees of Taurus, teeny tiny, just 0 degrees for 3 months, and then it'll go back into Aries, and then it'll
Mm,
fully enter Taurus in 2027. Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, still a lot of work to be done,
Hmm.
but it's exciting. We are guided and we are supported more than we can ever know.
Yeah. Amazing, Julia.
Thank you so much. I had so many epiphanies. Thank you. That was
Oh,
beautiful. Loved it.
wow. Um, and then I also want to let people know that so you had a conversation with Heather Ensworth on similar topics, and you're going to be having one with Keone, right? Also similar topics. So I would say that these keep an eye out. I'll put the link here for when they come out.
Yeah,
I will share both of those also.
we'll
Yeah,
complement each other. Yeah.
yeah, that'd be really beautiful. Yeah, and then
I would really like to invite the audience to explore where these points are in their own chart and reflect on the great potential within their own being to embody the cosmic intelligence and love, and know that every bit of realization and healing you experience as an individual plays a massive role for the entire collective and beyond this planet.
yeah, beautiful. And in the video description, we can put the points. Well, so the galactic points don't change really, so we can know that those are, we can give those as
Yeah.
set. We know for sure where those are in all of our charts. It's the same basic
Yeah.
place. But in terms of
Yeah.
Hyperborea asteroid, and these other asteroids, we can give you the numbers of those asteroids, so you can look them up on astro.com. The ones you're mentioning, Atlantis, Hawaii, and Hyperborea, are so sadly not on Astro Gold, which is what I use at least. So
Mm.
I have to go to astro.com too, and anyway, right. But with the numbers, you can look them up.
Yes.
Yeah. And is there anything else you want to say?
If you let me share the screen, I'll quickly share my slide from the presentation. So we will have 21 asteroids numbers. One second.
Yeah.
If you let me share.
Yeah. Go for it. Does it work now? There you go.
Here they are. So you can take a screenshot of this. These are the asteroids that I used in my latest research and that I'll continue to talk about throughout 2026 and beyond. And just now added Hyperborea at the very top, 1309. The ones on the left-hand side are more connected with the lifetimes or memories or echoes of ancient Atlantis. And the ones on the right-hand side are playing their role in recalls from ancient Atlantis and ancient Egypt. So
Hmm.
you can explore for any planet, any point in your chart, and not only conjunctions, but also aspects. They all reveal different clues to what you may have lived in those times and how that echoes in your current life, because that's the case. That's the reason why we're exploring it.
And wait, sorry, can you put that? I think you meant to say the ones on the left are Lemuria related, right? Not Atlantis. Okay.
Yes.
So the ones on the left are Lemuria, the ones on the right are Atlantis and ancient Egypt. Yeah, and
Yes,
then
because they
Hyperborea.
kind of intertwine. They kind of bleed into each other. Ancient Atlantis and ancient Egypt. So I
Uh,
kept them both together. Mm.
yeah, yeah. And also just fascinating. Like I looked up some of them in my chart, and the out of the ones I looked up, the only thing that was really, really, really standing out for me was the Hyperborea one. And I would assume you would say that doesn't mean, we weren't part of that or something. It's not like, oh, I had nothing to do with
Our
Lemuria.
Yeah,
Sorry,
our
sorry.
DNA holds so much. So and they they can get activated even through timing techniques astrologically. Like I don't necessarily have Sirius star conjunct any of the natal planets, but through progressed ascendant, the year when my ascendant is on Sirius, I had so many synchronicities with Sirius to the point I realized that when in a dream I was told by this plasmic being that I need to explore the dog star. And then I saw, oh my God, my progressed ascendant is on Sirius, and I had so many other synchronicities that entire year. So they're if it's for you, it won't pass you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and I would say just again, I'm assuming you would agree with this is, it's not so black and white like, oh, I have this in my chart or I don't. Like these things all exist. We are all of them.
Yeah.
And if we feel called to them, then we're called to them. Period. It doesn't matter whether it's in our chart or not.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
yeah.
just really love exploring it through the lens of astrology. It brings me joy, so I do it. The others may feel guided to different ways, and that's fine. It's just
Yeah.
it makes me happy.
And I'm realizing I never shared how this changed my life. I feel like I should do that just because
Yes, please do.
to honor you and to honor, yeah. So for me, this is me, but when Julia told me about Hyperborea and then said, and by the way, she looked it up in my chart and it was conjunct my sun, which is a very, very prominent place to have it. Um, I literally started crying because
Get
because
goosebumps, right? You had
oh,
like
oh my
so
goodness.
much feels
Because I
both you
could,
and I.
yeah, because I could immediately feel it. And what you told me at the time, and I don't think we've highlighted so much here, so maybe anyway, if there's anything remaining you want to
Mhm.
say about this, what you told me is that what you've been noticing is that for people who have Hyperborea particularly alive in their chart, it seems to you that these are beings who are mm, you could say like code keepers or wisdom keepers of the original codes of existence, kind of what you've already described. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that when you said all of that, I felt it in my heart, which is interesting that I feel it in my heart because it's conjunct my sun, which rules the heart. It's like, wow. Um, but what I felt is this ignition, like literally an ignition and a sense of being seen on this deep, I wouldn't even call it soul level. I felt like you recognized me on a energetic essence level. And
Mm.
then I started crying. And also I started crying because I felt like, oh wow. Okay, so I'm not crazy. Like I'm not making this up. That when I get taken and every day in my prayers, I get taken outside of time and space, outside of the time-space continuum, into the void, and I get shown the nature of existence. And I get shown the time before time, and right at the time you were telling me this, the biggest thing my guides were telling me right around then was, you are a keeper of the original codes of light before light was light. That was literally what they had been saying to me day after day after day after day for about 2 weeks. They were repeating that. And then you came in, and then you said what you said about Hyperborea. And I went, oh my God. Because,
Mm.
to have those kind of experiences can feel pretty lonely and isolating a lot of the time. And yeah, it can feel like, wow, I mean, am I just making this up? And I just,
Yeah.
anyway, it was a literal life-changing moment because it was part of what helped me get it. Oh, okay, this is who I am and what I'm here to do, and that's kind of the fundamental truth of me, right? And it's okay if it seems weird to other people. Keep doing it anyway, right? Yeah.
Thank you. You just beautifully expressed the fundamental reason why I continue what I do, because that very effect that people continue to have, the self-doubt, that little nagging voice that undermines your experiences that are deep inner journeys, revelations,
Mm.
divine revelations. Literally, the bells ring and you want to go down on your knees when something is revealed about your soul, but then you start doubting it. And when you see it black and white, you stop doubting it and you start embodying it more fully than ever before. And there's such grace in that. And
Mm.
great humility as well. We don't make these claims with ego boosting tendency. There's great humility in it, and reverence for the beautiful creation. And by the way, I have very similar experiences as you do for years, also being shown spontaneously the entire cosmic stories. Yeah.
Yeah, and it
And
also, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, and I'm sure others with these connections do too. So I
Yeah.
hope beautiful validation will be brought to you. And I just want to thank us all for holding space for this um, new harmonics that are being played collectively. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the last part that I want to say regarding all of that is also what another kind of layer of what it did for me was helped me to get it that we, of course I knew this in my brain, but it helped me feel it that we each are here with particular roles, right? And particular mm, I want to say gifts, but so I also have an experience pretty commonly where I'm talking with people I really respect and who I work with or whatever it is, even people I really look up to, and I feel them not holding that role. Like I try to describe how I feel, the I can literally see the grid of existence, and I'm shown, visually all of these things, and they're not. So it's very hard for me sometimes to, again, I start to feel like I'm crazy, or like, why aren't they getting why aren't they appreciating what I'm saying? Or, I feel kind of misunderstood in a certain way. But when you then said that, and you said yours was also conjunct your sun, and it's very prominent for Keone. Also, you know, you are two people who I always have the sense, oh, and without even words, I just get this bing, bing, bing with both of you, this kind of
Yeah.
energy activation feeling, and the conversations that, in particular, with the two of you, I have feel, I would call it kind of quantum or something like, where it's so much is being activated on that. I would call it a Hyperborean level. The original codes of existence are, I feel, ignited in me and in you, both of you, when we're talking, even if we're not explicitly using that language. And with other people, again, who I love, 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 and adore, that is, it's just different, right? So it helped me recognize, okay, there's nothing
Yes.
wrong with me when it's not connecting in that way. It's just that I'm made up in a particular way and they're made up in a particular way and we hold certain roles and we can connect on other levels. And so it's okay. It's all good. It's all how it's meant to be, right? Um,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you for mentioning that because that is another beautiful phenomenon that naturally occurs for anyone. If you have a prominent star system in your chart, it is really important to be expressed in this reality in your current incarnation. When you meet others that have that star system in their chart too, you become alive. Both of you activate each other because there is a soul recognition of something that feels so important and feels like home. And there's such a blessing when when you have those encounters. It's really, really important. And they always happen in divine timing when you're meant to really step more fully into that unique puzzle piece that you're here to play, the
Yeah.
tone that you're meant to play in the
Yeah.
grand
Literally
harmonics.
the
Mm,
song. Ding. Yeah. For real. Oh,
beautiful.
amazing, Julia. Um,
Thank you, Martha. Sister.
okay. So yes, so we will link. Okay, so just to recap what Julia has available, currently available is the new amazing course on the galactic points. And I just want to say, I want to highlight, let people know the price is amazingly low. So Julia
Doing my
has,
best to prepare. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, really, like, wow. So you've done a pay as you can o offer, and there's like a minimum amount, but it's very, very extremely reasonable. And I can say, I know Julia won't say this for about herself, but I know from talking with you, you put so much time and so much love into this course, right? Really, I could just feel it as you were talking about it, as you were working on it. And so I just want to name that out loud because Julia is too humble and won't say that. Um, and yeah, so it's so reasonably priced, so such a heartfelt offering. Yeah, so that link is here because that's available. But later to come, at some point in 2026, is the one about all the asteroids, right? So that's not there yet, but you have lots of things available on your.
In the meantime, the webinar is there, which will already set you on a great journey. And what I'm realizing quite clearly now is that the stars reflect to us our soul stories from other star systems or our ancestral archetypal experiences connected to other star systems and how they are playing out in your current incarnation, how they support you, or what is it that you are meant to recall and heal for the collective. And the asteroids will reveal to you our deep human ancestral experience linked to these ancient eras. And as I was talking to Heather about all this, while she was talking, I realized the fact that the asteroid belt is fragmented into thousand little pieces, such a mirror to our fragmented consciousness journey. And every asteroid plays um, holds a puzzle pice of the history of human story, and
That is
it reveals something important about us. So it
wow,
was quite, yeah, that makes
wow.
sense, right?
I love that.
But
Love that.
we are returning to unity
Oh,
consciousness.
mm,
So yeah.
amazing. Right. And then to say also, so then Julia also has the Galactic Astrology course, whole training program, certification program. If you're interested in being a galactic astrologer, that's amazing and beautiful as well. You have
And
your,
we'll feature our most passionate galactic astrologers by mid-January. I host a second year Quantum Soul Guidance Summit from 12th of January to 4th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th of January 2026, where there'll be 21 amazing presentations on various topics in connection to what we're discussing and more. Um,
mm,
so I really look forward to sharing that too. That'll be freely available to all.
yeah, yeah. So I'll share. So that, yeah, so that you're going to have that available starting, you said early December, you think?
When I start promoting it, yeah, by 1st of December, I will have the visuals and all the details, including the time schedule and topics that'll be shared.
Okay, so I'll share
Thank
that
you.
as well. And then, like I was mentioning in the beginning, Julia, David Clements, Kelly Klodney, Dr. John Ryan, and I will be hosting a free gathering on next week, December 5th, 2025. Definitely, please. Everybody come to that. It's going to be amazing. There's already a lot of people signed up, and yeah, it feels like just so, like we were saying, now this will make more sense, right? The sun, it's going to be, uh, that's going to be held on December 5th, 10 a.m. Pacific, but it'll also be recorded. That will be the day after the full moon at 13 degrees of Gemini. So the sun will still be conjunct the great attractor, which you were just describing. I was like, wait, this is so perfect. The great
It's
attractor.
like including all perspectives coming together because they matter. They each play a role, and something greater can come together in that inclusivity, in that honoring. Amazing.
How incredibly perfect. So
Mhm.
perfect. Amazing. Yeah. And it's not just that the five of us matter, it's that literally everybody matters, which is why we want
Yes,
as many
yes.
people there as possible. Yeah. Um, Beautiful. I think that's all the things.
Mhm. Thank you,
And
Martha.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
Julia's on YouTube channels and yeah. Yeah. So and you have a free calculator, Galactic.
Yes, thank you. So actually, for anyone, before you even consider signing up for the new course on the Supra Cosmic Hubs,
Hmm.
go to galacticastrochart.com/free. Enter your birth details to see how much you are connected to these cosmic giants. And then you can explore the course and find out exactly, like if you find that you have Mars conjunct galactic center, you'll go to the course, to the lesson, and find out what does it mean to have Mars conjunct galactic center, and any point is delineated there for you. And so far the feedback has been just amazing.
Oh,
So
I'm
such
sure.
resonance and so many aha moments and tears and
Mm.
goosebumps and activation. So I'm just so honored to share this journey with you all.
Yes, and the very, very, very last thing I will say is one of the my favorite things about Julia also is that the way that you nurture your community is just so beautiful. So, I highly recommend. I mean, just it's you, but it's also the whole group of people who are drawn to you is just so supportive and beautiful and yeah, wonderful. And our communities overlap a lot, and yeah, so just love it, all of it.
Thank you, Marta. I'm right back at you.
Okay, well, we would love to hear everything and anything you guys are feeling and share with us
Thank you
anything that's coming alive. Yay. See you all
so
soon.
much, love.
Mhm.
Take care.